Parallel and perpendicular lines. We have to remember that parallel lines never touch. They have the same slope. Okay, perpendicular lines, when they cross, they do touch. When they cross, they make a 90-degree angle. They have opposite, reciprocal slopes. Okay, opposite, reciprocal. Opposite sign, reciprocal is that you flip the fraction. Determine if segments A, B, and CD are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So from A to B, these 2 points, we need to find the slope. Then from CD, we need to find the slope, and then we'll be able to tell if they're parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So how can we find the slope of 2 points? Using our formula, y2 minus y1, and so forth. So I'm going to have 2 minus 4 divided by 0 minus negative 3. So I'm going to put a plus. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. 0 plus 3, that's 3. So that's the slope of the first from A to B. The slope is negative 3 over 2. What's the slope from C to D? Let's find it. So we're going to use our formula. 2 minus negative 6, so it turns positive, divided by 9 minus 3. 2 plus 6 is 8. Negative 9 minus 3 is negative 12. Okay, if you reduce that, if you put it in your calculator, it reduces to negative, what's 8 divided by negative 12? That reduces to 4 divided by negative 6, and we can reduce again to 2 divided by negative 3. So negative 2 divided by 3. Okay, these are exactly the same. Once you reduce it, it's exactly the same. They have the same slope. So these are parallel. Okay. Number 2, let's do the same thing. Let's find the slope from A to B. So I'm going to use my formula 4 minus negative 1. So it's plus 1. And 2 minus negative 2. So it's plus 2. 4 plus 1 is 5. 2 plus 2 is 4. So the slope is 5 divided by 4. It's already reduced. Now the next one, negative 1 minus 3 divided by 5 minus 0. Negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. 5 minus 0 is 5. The slope is negative 4 over 5. If you notice, this one is positive, this one is negative. And they're also flipped. So this one, these are perpendicular. So they have to be both opposite signs and then flipped reciprocals. They have to be both. Next, determine if the equations are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Okay, so this one, I don't know the slope until I have y by itself. So I need to subtract x. That gives me 2y equals 8 minus x. Then I divide by 2. That gives me y equals 8 divided by 2 is 4. And there's a negative 1 here. Negative 1 divided by 2, let's leave it like that. Negative 1 divided by 2x. So the slope for this one, don't get confused, it's not 4. In front of x, the slope is negative 1 over 2. The slope for the second line is this, 2. You can put a 1 over it so I can see it better. Are these the same? No. This one's negative, this one's positive, so they're opposite, and they're flipped, so they're opposite reciprocal, so these are perpendicular. On the next one, I know the slope for this one is 4, or you can say 4 over 1. But what's the slope of this line? Y has to be by itself, so I need to subtract 12x. And I have negative 3y equals 6 minus 12x. Then I divide by negative 3. So I have y equals 6 divided by negative 3 is negative 2. And negative 12 divided by negative 3 is positive 4x. So the slope for this one is also 4 or 4 over 1. So these are parallel. Now if you get two slopes, let's say one of them is 1/2 and the other slope is 2 over 1. Those would be neither. They're not parallel, they're not the same, and they're not perpendicular. They're not perpendicular because this one's positive and this one's positive. They're both positive. They have to be opposite signs. They are reciprocals, they are flipped, but they don't have opposite signs.